Hi, I'm Seth Cheong, and today on Passion People, I'm joined with Valen Low, a personal trainer by day and a world-class arm wrestler by night. He has represented Singapore in many overseas competitions. Okay, so Valen, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Hi Seth, so I'm Valen. I've been arm wrestling for about 12 years right now. And yeah, I've been arm wrestling from a young tender age of when I was 16 and doing it for a while, competed in many competitions, met many people, and yeah, it's been a long journey for me. Currently, I'm a personal trainer as well while doing arm wrestling.
How did you get exposed to this sport, and what led you to start?
So I was arm wrestling in school throughout my secondary school days when I was 13, 14 years old. And you know, at that point of time, boys like to challenge other boys from other levels in the terms of strength. So I was arm wrestling going around different classes, arm wrestling with different schoolmates and different school members and even the teachers as well. So from there, the interest started growing. And I went to the gym, I went online to search for arm wrestling and how to train for arm wrestling. And thereafter, after my O-levels, I competed in my first ever competition.
What did your peers or family think about you when you started competing officially?
I mean, of course, initially, it's a new thing, right? So it's a deviation from normal societal norms. So people, I believe, the teachers or whoever, they think like, oh, this guy is just doing it for fun or it's a one-off thing. People couldn't believe there's arm wrestling as a sport. Yeah, but after I brought and shed some light to them and enlightened them that, it's actually a doable sport and it's an interest, then the mindset changed and perspective changed.
So after arm wrestling for so long, what do you think separates this sport from others?
Because arm wrestling is a non-Olympic sport, right? And in terms of recognition and funding by the countries, it's not funded by a lot of countries. So what separates the sport is that we get to meet people from different areas. However, because a lot of them are not funded, so we are starting off at a base level. And then in Singapore as well, it creates a sense of, it's like only in the world, only a few countries are funded, right? So it creates a fair playing ground for many countries to start off to compete at a high level for the sport.
On your arm wrestling journey, what are some of the roadblocks you've encountered?
So I would say number one would be the most clear right now would be finances, because you need a lot of time, effort, and money to compete at a high level for the sport and to stay relevant at a high level. So that would be number one. So that's one of the roadblocks. Number two would be the amount of energy spent and time spent and mental energy spent as well to commit in the sport at a high level. Yeah, because at any point of time whereby you're competing against someone who's fully funded from Kazakhstan, then yeah, if you want to be relevant against them, you've got to put everything into it, your heart, mind, and soul, and your life. Otherwise, you won't be able to compete against them, and you'll be the whipping boys when you go and compete in the competitions with them. That's number two, the energy levels.
So how do you juggle between finances, arm wrestling, and your personal training job?
So I would think time management got to be very good, and everything that I do, right, has to revolve around arm wrestling. So you can't you can, but it'll be very tough. You can take a corporate finance job that's 12 hours a day at a high stress level. You can earn a lot of money, yes, but you don't have the time to train. So we have to find time and energy and sleep and nutrition to be able to compete at a high level. So time management is super important, and the mindset as well. So it's like, if you really want to go for something, you got to make plans for it, and your actions got to revolve around it.
Okay, on the topic of time management and training, how do you train?
So for training wise, there's specific training. As with most sports, it's very skill-based acquisition specific training, and non-specific training, which can be like general physical, like preparedness or strength, like general strength. So I'll train about 4 to 5 times a week for specific training. And on top of that, on certain days, depending on where I am away from the competition or closer to the competition, I might do like a 3 to 4 times of general strength training, which means you could work the full body depending on how far I am towards that particular competition I'm preparing for.
What is your proudest arm wrestling moment?
I would say my proudest moment would be when I won the Asian Championships in 2014. Yeah, because no one, at the point of time, no one knew what Singapore was, right, in the arm wrestling world. And then at the point of time, it was in Japan. So all the Kazakhs were there, the Uzbeks was there, very big in their country, a very big sport, a very big thing in their country. and a lot of Central Asians and the Japanese as well. So me and my other competitor Desmond, another Singaporean, we went there, so we competed, and yeah, I won it, and that was my proudest moment because no one knew like who Singapore was, this tiny little country, what we can do.
What do you hope for the future of arm wrestling in Singapore?
My hope would be that more arm wrestlers, there'll be more, number one, there'll be more arm wrestlers. So there'll be through like awareness and interest to grow in the country itself. So more competitors can actually pull for fun first. And then from there, those people who are serious we will be able to sieve them out, and more like-minded individuals who compete at a higher level for arm wrestling in Singapore.
Okay, so last question. What would you say to anyone who would want to dabble in this sport?
For an entry-level person, just find a club near you, get on an arm wrestling table and have fun and just pull on the arm wrestling table and don't get injured. Yeah, that's the main gist of it.
Vaylen's story shows just how much blood, sweat and tears are needed to pursue one's passion to the highest level. Would you make the same sacrifices he did for something you're passionate about? I'm Seth Cheong, and for more stories like Vaylen's, tune in for the next episode of Passion People.